Broadcasting live from Houligans Sports Grill on ISB in Daytona Beach, Florida, it's the Hail Wildcats Gridiron Show with the Gridiron Gang. Fellas, let's flip the switch and do this. Very pleasant good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of the Hail Wildcats Gridiron Show. It is Bethune-Cookman versus Southern week. We've had the elections. The elections are now over. It's time to talk about Wildcat football, not politics, only on the field politics. Guys, how's it going this week? Ralph, we'll start out with you first. I'm here with my guy Ralph and my other guy, the professor, Larry Wesley. Missed him on last weekend. Ralph, he was asked about. Everybody's glad to see you back, Larry, and we'll hear from you in a minute. Ralph, go ahead, man.
Well, this week was a little bit better than the week before. I saw some different things on Saturday, and hoping we keep that up and keep rolling. We got 3 more first-year coaches. We got to take them down.
Definitely, we have 3 more first-year coaches, and we got to put them to our rear rudder with L's.
Absolutely,
as we come across.
Yes, sir.
Yep, 1 down, 3 more to go.
3 more to go.
3 more to go, and they can't be done. So it's good to see you, man. The whole game, you were having fun over there. I looked over there at you. Truly, the Wildcat faithful stayed to that game. You know, when it started raining, well, it wasn't even raining. What would you call
Drizzling.
it? Yeah, it was drizzle.
It was faking us out.
We sweat worse than that. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, they left the game, but the Wildcat spirit never left, and we fought to the end.
We did.
Finished.
I mean, we finished.
We finished.
And we haven't finished in the last 10 games, but we finished.
We finished, and that's what that was all about. Even, you know, and we'll get into it, but the joy was seeing those young men come off the field, and you know, they're waving to the crowd, get up, and you know, it was just a lot of excitement.
Haven't seen that in a while, though.
Yeah,
haven't seen that.
Definitely, a lot of excitement on the stadium. Mr. Wesley.
Yeah, well, I'm feeling a whole lot better than I did on the weekend. I got into a taste of some bad food, seafood, and it didn't agree with me. So I'm still thinking about coming out to the game, but I was feeling pretty weak. So I decided to stay home, take the meds, and watch the game.
Virtually from
the computer. But I tell you, it was definitely a different kind of Saturday, being home and not being out at the stadium. But the good guys pulled it out. That's the only thing that matters. We'll take the W any way we get it. And it was an impressive victory by the Wildcats.
Very impressive victory. We're going to cover that in a little bit. You just, as Larry said, you had to be tuned in. We saw a lot of things that, of course, we did not expect to see. I was, you know, the first thing that I will say, to see your defensive coordinator come out of the press box during halftime, headed down to meet with the team, and you know, he's smiling from ear to ear. You know, we typically don't see that up at the top. You know. And you could tell they were definitely locked in, and you know, then after the game, he was smiling the same way. You know, happy for him.
If you look at it though, when they came out in the second half, they completely shut Grambling down in the third quarter. I mean, they shut them down.
Yeah, adjustments
was made. I mean, we went to a totally different style of defense, and it worked.
We scored more points after halftime too.
Of course, yeah. Usually they make adjustments and then we don't do anything. But it was, like, again, it was a total team effort. The kids didn't quit; they finished, and they felt good about it afterwards.
So, yeah, definitely.
And of course, all of us did as well.
Definitely. So, guys, we'll get right into it. We'll come back to that and talk about that joyous occasion. Let's go to our SWAC week recap. First up, Southern goes to Alabama A&M. Southern pulls that game out 25-20. I want to ask, do you feel any surprises there?
I kind of thought that Alabama A&M would just overpower them.
Right.
But after watching that game a couple of times this week, they didn't seem like they wanted to be there, and they was at home.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
so
Right.
I was surprised, really.
Yeah, I thought that looking at it on paper going in, Alabama A&M's usually pretty tough at home on the hill. But give Southern credit. They played a good game, and Alabama A&M seemed to be checking out. They didn't seem like they were there. You know,
Exactly.
and
Yep.
when you look at football games today, you never ever thought you have to worry about effort
Right.
in football. But today it's so easy to lose control of your team. You know, they say boxers sometimes get old in the fight, in the ring, you know, and sometimes teams check out, you know, during the game.
Well, they better check back in because if you look at the SWAC rankings, there is a team that starts with a B, and then there's a hyphen, and then C in there that is on top of them right now in the standings.
They've been running a little clip on Roughing the SWAC of Cornell Manor saying he's only paid to win SWAC ball games.
Right.
Well, he's not really winning many SWAC ball games.
Because that was a SWAC football game.
Indeed it was.
Yeah, definitely. Then Arkansas Pine Bluff goes to Jackson State. Jackson State 41, Arkansas Pine Bluff 3. Then, as we discussed a little bit earlier, and we will come back to and discuss in depth, the Grambling Tigers come down to Bethune-Cookman. And I know my girl, Miss Emma, I think she sent it to you too, Ralph. There was a clip that says historic embarrassment for Grambling on their page. And yeah, we'll talk about that here in a little bit. But it was not historic. It was for us.
It was a usual whooping. I mean, well, they only beat us once in the last 5 tries.
Yeah.
So how could that be historic?
I didn't get it. I didn't get it.
People in the SWAC have a way of defining things.
They don't get the word till late. Prairie View versus Mississippi State. Prairie View 17, Mississippi Valley State 16. Man, I mean, no, disrespect to Prairie View, but I wanted Mississippi Valley to win.
Mississippi Valley should have won the game.
Yeah, they should have.
Yeah,
they should have.
They made that critical mistake at the wrong time.
Yeah, definitely. Texas Southern goes into Tallahassee this weekend, past weekend, to face FAMU. Final score of that game, 52-28. Texas Southern still put up 28 points. I know we don't do moral victories, but, you know.
2 first-year coaches.
Yeah.
They're scoring points.
Yes.
They really are.
Yes.
Give Chris Dishman and his staff credit. You know, they're not being humble in that regard.
Right.
And it was an electric game. I think in one series Texas Southern runs a pump back,
right,
and the kickoff, and soon kickoff, FAMU runs it back. You know, so they were scoring like a pinball machine there for a while.
Wow. Hey, thanks for tuning in from Las Vegas, David. Good to hear from you, big guy. Then we have rounding out Alcorn State goes to Alabama State. Alcorn State 21. Alabama State 21, Alcorn State 17. Pretty close ball game there.
Alabama State still getting it done with defense.
They are.
And manufacturing just enough offense to get the W.
To get over the hump.
Just enough.
Yeah. That'll take us right into our Pro First Sports Management SWAC week schedule and rankings. This week, coming up on Saturday, Alabama A&M goes to Arkansas Pine Bluff. That's a 2 p.m. kickoff in Pine Bluff, Arkansas. Alabama State, the Hornets go to Grambling. That is a 3 p.m. kickoff or 2 p.m. kickoff there in Grambling. Of course, our Wildcats also travel to the state of Louisiana this weekend. Our Wildcats face the Southern Jaguars this Saturday, 2 p.m. Central Standard Time, 3 p.m. Eastern Time. It's going to be a big weekend in Baton Rouge because also, we have our game, and then LSU and Alabama also play in Baton Rouge this weekend. So we were blessed to get rooms.
You want to get out. It's been my experience through the years. You don't want to be caught in Baton Rouge on Saturday night with the Tigers playing in LSU's Memorial Stadium there. Because I tell you, when those Bayou folks get to drinking,
that Bayou
juice,
crazy,
oh my goodness.
Man. Crazy.
And it is something to believe.
It is. FAMU goes to Prairie View A&M. That's a 2 p.m. kickoff out in Prairie View. Then Mississippi Valley travels down the road to Jackson to face Jackson State. They're in, that's a 2 p.m. kickoff also. Rounding it out, Texas Southern goes to Alcorn State, 2 p.m. kickoff in Lorman, Mississippi. So that's how that goes down. Computer rankings, FCS computer rankings. FAMU comes in at 26. They were previously 32. Jackson State comes in at 33, previously 34. Alabama State comes in at 66. They were previously 74. Southern University comes in at 75, previously 83. Alabama A&M comes in at 95. They were previously 92. Alcorn State comes in at 102, previously 94. Texas Southern 103, previously 97. Grambling State comes in at 109. They were previously 93. Prairie View comes in at 112. They were previously 109. Our Wildcats come in at 113, previously 120. Arkansas Pine Bluff comes in at 119. They were previously 112. Mississippi Valley rounds it out at 129, and they stay in the same place. Fans, go ahead and share the Hail Wildcats Gridiron Show with their friends and family. If they can't watch on Facebook, we also are streaming on YouTube. Tune in. Let's talk Wildcat football tonight. The 2024 SWAC football rankings. In the East, Jackson State comes in at 5-0, 7-2 overall. Alabama State comes in 4-1. In the conference overall, they're 5-3. FAMU comes in at 3-1. They're 5-3 overall. Our Bethune-Cookman Wildcats come in at 2-3. We're 2-7 overall. Alabama A&M comes in at 1-3, 3-5 overall. Mississippi Valley State 0-5 conference, 0-9 overall. In the West, the mighty West. Our competition this weekend: Southern Jaguars coming at 4-1 in conference, overall 5-4. Alcorn State comes in 3-2 conference, 4-5 overall. Prairie View A&M 2-3 conference, 4-5 overall. Texas Southern 2-3 conference, 3-5 overall. Arkansas Pine Bluff 2-3 in conference, overall 3-6. Grambling State rounds it out. They're 1-4 in the West in the SWAC, and 4-5 overall. There you have it, guys. Still a lot of football to be played. Still a lot of shakeup that can happen. But what we want to talk about right now is, guys, there's so much. I don't know if you guys caught what Mac Brown said, but it's football as a whole is just totally different right now. You know, from the transfer portal to NIL to the student athletes that you have to coach, you know, in this day and time, it's not easy. And that's a Power 5, you know, coach saying that, who just, of course, beat Florida State on last weekend. But, you know, we talked about that a little bit last week, and, you know, with the culture and things of that nature, it is hard. And then we talked about, like, you know, the Nick Sabans who step out of football because, you know.
Last week, many of the great coaches are in both football, basketball.
Right.
You know, they're exiting many of them before their time because
Definitely.
they don't want to deal with. They see the change.
It's so many distractions that go on, and that's, like Mac Brown say, you're going to get inconsistent play with so many distractions going on, and it's more than just where you could just lock in and
It's
play football.
Yeah, the world we live in now
Yeah.
because of social media,
Yes.
because of the instantaneous gratification, and 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 I have to say it. I never thought I'd say this with football, but we're living at a time in the world where we're dealing with a generation where entitlement
So
has just taken over everything. I never thought it would come into athletics like it is, but once you brought the dollar in, pay for play, there's no loyalty. People feel entitled.
right.
I can't even begin to put into words what is happening up in Tallahassee at Florida State. I mean, it defies logic.
It does.
It really
truly.
does in terms of the fall that the Seminoles have found themselves in. But I think you're going to see that becoming more commonplace moving forward. It just happened to hit Florida State first, but I think you're going to see a lot more traditional powers, or so to speak, powers who are going to fall on these hard times, particularly if you're making a living out of that portal.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely,
That's fool's gold.
definitely. So
Well, and another thing, in addition to what you just said, Larry, back in the day, you had these 18, 19-year-old kids that you could actually buffalo, and they had no other choice but take it.
right.
Now these kids have choices.
Well-
So what I think the coach is going to have to learn how to do is how to manage individuals.
Well,
They're going to have to learn.
And Ralph, you mentioned the word buffalo, but I really think it was the fact that you could coach them hard. You could train them up for life expectations, not just in the football field. And so now that you can't do that, we're seeing what's happening on the football field. You're going to see some of the same thing in the lives of these players when they step out into the real world. There's no freebies out here.
I don't even know, Ralph, if the coaches can even do it, because, like Mac Brown said, a lot of these players now have NIL agents and portal agents for the most part, because hey, if it don't work out here, I'm already looking for your next place for you, trying to negotiate and broker that deal. And so really and as we heard Saturday, if certain things don't go my way, then I'm out of here. And that does not help. Tradition.
But I'm not disagreeing with either one of you. I'm just saying either you're going to quit or you're going to learn how to get around it. You're going to learn how to manage the situation. I'm not saying what you guys are saying is incorrect. I'm just saying, so what do you do? Do everybody just quit? Are you going to quit on the kids? I'm just saying you got to find a way. You just got to find a way, because like I said to you guys 2 weeks ago, in the state of Florida, now that high school kids got NIL,
Yeah.
there's going to be a lot of high school kids that probably don't play any more football after high school, because people are not going to bend to their. And I'm not talking about the top tier players. I'm talking about the tier below that.
Right.
Who are going to come in with demands on what they want, and they haven't played a lick of college football.
But how do you stop the demands? Because somebody, and I know, like you said, you're not talking about the top tier guys, but even the top tier guys are going to come in with their demands, as we have seen, are astronomical. And if you don't have it, then like you said, Ralph, there's even some guys who will go in the portal and never come out.
I don't. To me, I'm gonna just be very honest. I think it's a death knell. It's a death knell for college sports as we know.
Oh, it is.
No one legislated it. It's like giving the keys to the jail to the inmates. Okay, and literally, and that's what has happened right now. And I don't think you can get it back.
You can't.
Not the way it's out there right now.
So it was just like this. Okay, as we know, the big dog NCAA wants to try to rule it, but there's no way because of, okay, if you try to step in, we're going to take you to court, NCAA. We're going to take you to court, and we're going to fight it. And once a judge rules, and they have even said to the NCAA, hey, if you all keep coming back into court, you're not going to like it. And so now, it's like, guys,
you look at it and you really don't see any clear path out of it right now, because literally, as I said before, it's like a five alarm fire. It's spreading, and no one seems to have any answer about how to control it. So what many of the coaches are doing, those who are the Nick Sabans of the world, in football, the head basketball coach at Virginia, who had won a national championship a few years ago, Tony Bennett.
Right.
He threw his hands up.
Man, let me go in the broadcast.
What it seems to me a parallel to this is, for years, when you would go to high school basketball, and everybody wondered, what has changed so much about high school basketball? AAU has changed basketball. That's what has changed.
Yes.
So this is very much similar to what's going on with football right now. And we have NIL in football and basketball. So you're paying for play. And who can manage this? I don't know how you do it. But I think most coaching staffs are really going to have to look at different types of titles for coaches that we've never heard of before to help manage this. Because as they are currently constructed, the coaching staff by itself, they're not going to be able to handle all of this. This is
and for them, it's, man, even for the coaches, like head coaches, we see their contracts that are even negunegotiated for them, their buyouts. Like,
Well, just look at the breaking news today with Florida. They're going to keep Billy Napier.
Right.
Which is probably a beautiful financial decision on their part.
Right.
Florida State faces the same thing.
$63 million. You can't pay it.
How can you?
And if you want somebody to pay it, then you're going to have to pretty much do what they want you to do to be able, this is what I want. I'm going to make sure this happens, but this is what I want. And we know that college football is ran by Vegas, just like the NFL is ran by Vegas. And we also know who runs Vegas.
The good guys.
I'm laughing because Florida State's situation is most unfortunate with Mike Norvell. But really, Florida State could have an ace in their hole, but they won't go to it.
No.
They got the guy who could turn this thing around in a heartbeat and make money for the institution.
Big time. Make it right back.
Right back. But they're not willing. They're not willing to do that.
That guy who rides around on a farm with a shotgun on the front of his, his ATV.
But really,
from the state of Florida.
but really, baseball was really when they first started putting money into the game, and it changed baseball. Because when baseball went to this all travel team,
for sure, James.
The minority kids couldn't afford to travel, and that's why you don't see that many African Americans in baseball anymore, because they couldn't get on the travel team because their parents couldn't afford to pay.
And it's going up and up. My little cousin is trying to get on, the city league soccer league, and $300, and it's
and they travel, right?
Yeah.
But let us kid ourselves not. They've been paying for athletes for years.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. The bigger schools, some of the smaller schools, they've been paying for years. It's just now everybody has their hand in the game.
That's it. And the more money you have, or the bigger booster, or the bigger business, we won't say booster, the bigger business you have.
Now, if you're fortunate enough to get one of those $1 million quarterbacks?
What you mean, Arch Manning? Or Shadur Sanders?
Or DJ Lagway? You can save a coach's job, okay? Literally.
You got to keep him happy.
You got to keep. Oh, you got to.
You got to keep him happy.
Definitely, you got to do that.
So yeah, it's just. I pray for these coaches. I know we're hard on the coaches here on the show, and I know other fans are hard because we heard it after the game against Grambling. Poor Coach Dooley. I mean, ran him in the ground or what have you, but it's hard. It's just hard, and like you guys say, if you can't find someone to be, that player personnel or director of player personnel and stay up on the times, and you're gonna get swamped on that,
and you're gonna need a real sports psychologist on your staff. I'm telling you, you're gonna have to have that.
You might want to get one in a hurry.
Yeah.
Because as long as you wait, the more it's gonna come.
So,
but anyway, that's the status of college football. And in Florida next year, it's going to be the status of high school football. So
already, it's in Georgia and Florida. So.
Of course.
Yeah. But we digress, and then we talk about something that is like Chuck Hunt said. Eric Dooley's name is dirt up here.
No doubt.
Somebody won at home this past Saturday. Who was that, Ralph?
I think it's the church school in Daytona.
The little church school in Daytona. As they say in the SWAC, Thum. Our Wildcats come out, erase a 14-point deficit on Senior Day. Senior Day here in Daytona on this past Saturday. It was Senior Day, and it was also big fish day for the Hail Wildcats Gridiron Club. Man, we pushed some fish out on Saturday.
Got a lot of hungry people.
Yeah, man. We were calling everybody, man, come get some of this. But no, it was a great time. And then we'll get to how it ended on Saturday because it was a great time. So our Wildcats win on this past Saturday, 24-21 over the Grambling Tigers. Our first win at home for the season. We don't go winless at home for the season. And we move up in conference play. We moved up. So
we come out of the cellar, huh?
Yeah. Lose that stench a little bit,
Oh, boy.
So, Grambling wins the toss. Luke comes out. Fortunately, he was forced out of the game with injury, and I think that injury is day to day for him. I think when the trainers checked him out, they did not keep him in the tent long. So we aren't doctors, of course, but didn't look like any structural damage injury. So praying for him. Looking for him to come back when he's healthy and well enough to come back. Praying for you, big guy. Take us into the game, Ralph, because we talked about this on last Thursday. What did you see on Saturday?
I saw a lot of different stuff that we've been begging for. We came out of that defense we've been in all year long, and we went to a totally new defense to actually stop them from doing what they like to do. And I thought I was extremely happy with that. I was sitting next to a guy who had graduated from Alabama State, and then his son-in-law was Grambling. So that's why I stayed in my seat, because I was enjoying my conversation. But we also, once Luke went out of the game, we went back into doing some things that we haven't done all year. That Grambling wouldn't allow us to run. So then we started probing in the middle with the tight end, which we have not really gone through all year. And we just stuck to it. And I think the kids got excited and they started getting some success, and the rest is history.
The highlight of the game for me was to finish that game with Ralph Smith still in the stands. That was the biggest highlight for me. I kept looking over there, peeking at him, and it seemed like he was having a great time. And then to even come and find out, Larry, he told those guys, what did you tell those guys? We were down.
We was down 14. I don't know.
7
Yeah.
or was it 21-7?
It was 14-0.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
When Ralph supposedly made the statement if we score before half.
Yeah, I told this guy from Alabama State, and he said, "How do you know that?" I said, "You wait and see. If we score before the half, we're going to win this game."
And that guy didn't know how big of a statement that was from Ralph B. Smith. Because the Ralph we know, the Ralph we sit in here with on Thursday nights, for him to say something like that, that was heard around the world. And those guys, they must have heard it down on the field because they did what they needed to do to pull it out.
Dale, if you had been wired up to me from the house, you all would have called evac for a wellness check, because this isn't this hard.
No, no.
It's not, what I'm about to say is not hard. There are 11 people on the football field for each team.
That is correct.
And so, therefore, the adjustments don't require you to make a whole lot of major changes. But here's the one thing.
Stay in the game.
We stumble, and I say we stumble. It's been there the whole year. Now, I don't know whether we're going to see it this week, but it's available to us this week. I'm going to tell you right now. As long as we stay in 12 personnel, that is 2 tight ends.
Yes.
And they don't have to be lined up on the same side. They can be lined up with a tight end and an H-back. You can put them opposite each other, whatever. But you've got 2 mismatches for Bethune-Cookman. You got 2 tight ends, one 6'3", 270 that runs really well. The other 6'6", and about 250. He runs extremely well. If you think about the New England Patriots with Bill Belichick, when he had Gronk and Hernandez, he revolutionized the double tight end for a concept and won Super Bowls with it. We have mismatches there, and we should run everything, those tight ends in the middle of that defense, running not crossing routes, but they could just run two-way goals,
Right.
You running running out route, in route. But here's the other part. Once they go through the defense, you can come back behind in that vacated area, because now those 2 guys are problems. The first touchdown that we scored, when we hit D's up the seam, they were preoccupied with the tight end. Literally. Then we come back and score again with Nance, to get back in the ball game. Where was the safety? The safety was nowhere to be. It was a linebacker trying to cover him man to man. So therefore, if you work the middle of that football field, because no defense wants to be weak up the middle.
No.
You don't want that.
No.
So whether we go back to that this week and use it, and that allows us to run the football as well, because when we ran Dennis Palmer on that touchdown, nobody was sitting in that gap. Nobody was there because they were preoccupied with that tight end.
Man, Dennis Palmer, when he came over on that left side, it was like he kicked that thing in drive.
It was nobody there. It opened up like Moses at the Red Sea.
Yes, sir.
That's exactly what it looked like.
See, the other thing that I saw in that game, we kept running counters, which I haven't seen all season. Because we'd run a counter to the right, but go to the left. The players on the left-hand side. And initially, them linebackers was following the guard. They know that play should go right, but actually the play was going left. But the linebackers, they committed to trying to protect.
Overcommit. And then once you do that, all we got to do is chip you and just hold you there, because we're getting, to the point of attack quick.
But to get those 2 tight ends involved and giving those guys either set routes or giving them a 2-way go in the middle of that football field, they're going to create tremendous problems. and they run well once they catch the football.
And you got to respect them.
No doubt about it.
You got to respect
They
them.
open up everything else in the offense.
Yes.
Now you can nibble out on the edges with your backs coming out, putting your slot people like Javon Ross. In the slot, you can put D's in the slot. Once you get those speed guys involved with those big tight ends operating in the middle, you're putting the defense in a real bind.
You are.
And that's what we've been talking about for the last 3 or 4 weeks. It's not the fact that we don't have talent, because we got talent.
We just got, it's our scheme. We got to be smart.
Yeah.
We got to be smart and dictate to our strengths.
Exactly. Which we haven't done all year. Grambling was the first game we actually did.
Now, I'm waiting to see what happens this week. Do we go back to it or do we go away from it?
I don't think we go away from it. I think we found our niche. And it's as you guys have said, I think it was changing up some personnel. I think it was getting the younger guys and guys who, really want to play some football. Because it wasn't just on the offensive side of the ball.
Oh, the defense.
Yeah.
The third quarter and the fourth quarter, the defense was outstanding.
Oh, man, pin those ears back
yes.
and let's
go after.
But
again, we put them in a different position where they can be successful. We went away from that 4-2-5 or whatever they call it.
And then we went to single safety.
We sure did. And that's when we really started bringing the heat, when we went to the single safety.
I cannot emphasize enough the fact that I'm not hopping on the tight ends. But then if you have that going for you, nobody in the SWAC has really seen what Javon Ross can do.
No.
You get that kid that ball in space like that, and you got a speed merchant like D's that you can put on the opposite side if you flank him out.
Right.
Or Reese. But you can work off of the edges. But you get that ball to those guys in space, they're going to create problems for any defense. We don't have to go 35 yards down the field throwing the football.
No.
Get them in open space.
So, guys, did we make, so let's go to halftime. Okay, coming out of halftime, what did you, and we know what Ralph said, what did you expect coming out of halftime from our football team?
Well, you know what I've always said about halftime.
I said that quite a bit before the
game. This gives me hope because this is the best we've played coming out of halftime. Right. Now, I don't know whether that was an adjustment or an accident that happened. I don't know yet. I have to see a little bit more of it to understand where to categorize that.
And I agree with you, but I think it was more of adjustment because we sustained it.
Yeah. It was an adjustment because if you look at the defense, it didn't even look like the same defense. And we played it differently.
On the offensive side of the ball, yes, there were some segments like we got the ball back with 4:57 remaining in the game, and I felt we could have ran the clock out. There were some questionable play calls during that series.
That's my concern. That's what I'm talking about.
Well, the thing that really got me scared though, is when our quarterback ran straight for the sideline. We were trying to run. He ran.
No, but this is where having a quarterback coach,
right,
that you can talk to that particular player and say, "Look, Cam, we're gonna run quarterback power. We're gonna a quarterback keeper. We're gonna run to the short side of the football field. You get down before going out of bounds.
Yeah,
you get down before going out of bounds."
If you suspect that, and none of us can say, and I'm sure Gerbino can't even say that, he expected him to run out of bounds. But I think we possibly run that to the left side of the field
The wide side.
And you give him an opportunity to find the hole to turn it up in. And if he gets tackled right there, then, he gets tackled right there, set you up for an easier field goal, even at that, because I don't think he would have been stretched all the way out to the other side of the sideline.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but you expect your quarterback to be your coach on the field.
Yeah, you do.
Those are situational
exactly
items that need to be addressed.
Right.
And you hope that the quarterback understands that, like, please and thank you. Okay.
Exactly.
You're running the clock down. You're leading the game. I cannot go out of bounds. I got to slide. Whatever I'm not going to give them that free timeout.
Exactly.
But and that's what you even say, you even say that to a heady quarterback coming out. Hey, look, if you don't get it, you got to get down. Give us a chance. Get down. Allow us to live another play. And
we're talking about a coach who is running his offense. Do you really think he has time to say that to Cam? I don't know. But if Cam had a quarterback coach who's going to be talking about the nuances of the game, he's going to hear that.
I mean, I would think every coach should have been saying that before we even, run the field. But,
I mean, look, I've gone to Pop Warner League games and I've seen peewees who understand that. I mean, literally at the lowest level. So that's teaching, that's coaching. And if it's not being parlayed on the play out on the field, somebody's not doing a good job of communicating that.
Right.
And Cam's played a lot of football at other places. He should have heard that somewhere else.
Because I'm sure he had a quarterback coach.
Oh, no.
Love the guy, but I think at times he gets caught up in the game. And, that's a...
Well, guess what? With a quarterback coach, I'm going to be standing right there before he goes on the field.
But that's what I'm saying.
I'm going to be talking to him as he's going on the field with my checklist that you need to understand.
I'm going to tell that wide receiver, hey, if he get out there and you see him head towards that sideline, you go tackle him.
Look here, he didn't just run that way. He ran all the way almost to the bench on that side. So he wasn't thinking about going down at all. No,
it's almost like it was a mission. I got to get out of bounds. I didn't understand that because you're holding on to a narrow lead. Why do you want to get out of bounds? You want to run the clock.
Teaching and coaching are one and the same. Great coaches are great teachers, and it shows on the field, particularly in crunch time.
Guys, let's talk about, and then we'll come back to grading and then defensive play. How, those guys lock things in, even when they were down deep in our own territory where all they had to do was do a conversion. And, I mean, the ball's in the end zone, but we
locked them up.
Stand up big.
We locked them up on the 1 yard line.
It was a tremendous jailbreak blitz that got us home.
Yes.
That's what turned that game around.
Of course.
Keeping them off the board right there.
And then, even later in the game when they had the 4th and 1 and, everybody in the stadium is like, oh, okay, he's going to hand it off to the big back. And, the big back's going to cruise through the hole to get the 4th down. He 5 pulls the ball, keeps it.
Yeah, he did one of our plays. He did one of our plays.
That literally, and the commentators were talking about that. He just totally misread that.
Yeah,
if he gives it to the big back, he goes on through. He might have scored.
He might have. But as Dr. Bethune would have it on that particular Saturday.
Yeah.
But the other thing to that, though, our defense was playing lockdown at that time.
Oh, yeah.
Our defense was playing extremely well.
Oh, yeah.
Well, they were doing something we haven't done. They were attacking.
They were.
They were not they were not catching. They were coming downhill to be aggressive.
They were.
And that was something we hadn't shown most of the year. We've been sitting back playing vanilla.
Yeah.
Who's been listening to y'all show?
I got to see. I got to see it one more weekend to believe. Before, you're not gonna fool me. You're not gonna fool me.
You can't.
One time.
You can't get the professor fooled. Huh?
No.
Well, I mean, if you look at us over the last several weeks, we haven't shown any changes or consistency or where you could actually say, okay, this team's going to do this, this team's going to do that. Now, the reason I said that to that guy at near halftime, because when I looked at Grambling, I was looking at Bethune-Cookman. They were almost exactly the same as us. They mirrored us. They've had the same type of issues that we've had.
They have.
And I knew, I kind of felt if you put some pressure on them, they're going to do what we've been doing.
Well, they said they came to run the football. That's what they were saying when they were going to this freshman quarterback. They said they were going to look to give the football to the running backs more than normal. And so we changed our defensive philosophy into being more in attack mode,
Exactly.
at least coming across the line of scrimmage. And I think that sort of got them out of their game because they were looking to be able to run the football and have success in that particular area. And we adjusted to that. Those are the kind of simple things that good teams or teams in general try to do.
Huge shout out to Dallas Corbett, Earl Miller Jr., Darnell D's beautiful bomb cam to the D's on that pass. Definitely can't say enough about Dennis Palmer. Stayed humble, stayed patient. He knew at a point in time when we were running those counters, it was going to open up. It was going to open up, and it did. It did. Man.
And you got to say Thomas Nance.
Thomas Nance. Yes, Nance. Sir.
Number
yes,
17.
Yes,
that
sir.
tight end right there, it's a shame we have not used him more.
Yeah.
He has got to get more touches in these
to.
last 3 games.
We hope so.
Definitely.
We hope.
Big interception by Caleb Blake on senior day, coming up big for the senior Caleb. And then, man, as you said earlier, number 11, Oren Patu.
He had a
I don't know what they put in his food, but he needs to eat that every week.
Man, Oren had his family there for senior day, and I mean, those ears got pit back.
He played a great football
came on with it, man.
I was getting upset because they kept pulling him out of the game.
Yeah.
Ask them if they stay to Thanksgiving, okay?
At least until the 19th.
Right.
Then, man, I tell you what, Joshua Thornhill, on the 2 wins on the season, number 16 has closed the game out both times with interceptions up at Mississippi Valley and then at home to close it out for the Wildcats. And, just a truly joyous occasion. Very happy for the players, very happy for the coaches. It seemed like true Wildcat football. And, as someone said to me, the people who stayed were the true Wildcats. They weren't those Florida Classic. They weren't the homecoming fans.
Florida Classic.
It was just, and then after the game to see the camaraderie, to see the guys, all the guys, because if you've looked down on the sideline, who after games that we've lost, there haven't been many players doing the alma mater.
Oh no. Well, the thing for me was just to be able to get in victory formation.
Right.
Just to see to line up in the most exciting play of football. If you're winning that victory formation, that was it. One other player who I'm not just looking at the cue, but watching that game on TV that flashed a lot was our big defensive tackle number 90.
Oh yeah.
He had a game.
Yeah.
Oren.
Yeah.
90 flashed a lot. He really did. Really. His motor was wide open Saturday.
Definitely so. And like I say, to see all the young men do the alma mater, and then just the jubilation. Not just the football players. I'm talking about support staff. Everybody's hugging each other. I mean, those young men and women work hard for our guys. And it's not always pretty, but I mean, just to see that, and then
the commentators on the broadcast on the SWAC digital network, when the game started,
right,
they were extremely concerned that Bethune would be able to be in this football game when the game started because we couldn't block. We could not block Graham. They blitzed us all day
we could
long.
not.
And
Could not
one
pick
of the
it up.
commentators was saying as much. But as the game went on and he saw some of the things we were forced to do with Cam running and, extending plays and getting the football out. I think he went 18 of 20, and he said, look, Bethune has found something. They're not nearly as
stagnant,
bad as we
were.
thought they could do something moving forward. And that's what it is. The talent is there. We just got to get better in scheming this stuff up.
In great situations to finish strong. And what a great finish it was, not only for the players, but to have the head skipper get a water bath on his birthday. And, we kind of held our breath when, I saw Watts and Adrian Hall headed towards him because
when they got him, Raymond turned around and pushed him.
He pushed him. Right. But he was smiling, and I was like, okay, he's good.
We need to give him a few more baths, okay, so he can get comfortable with this.
So.
Yeah, I was kind of nervous.
Yeah, man. Man, everybody better run.
Yeah.
And the one kid didn't have a shirt on. Oh, my God.
But it was just great, man. And then even, and we're going to get to the grading, everyone. I know you're ready to grade, but we had, and I was talking about the tailgate earlier. We truly had an old-fashioned tailgate. So when the stadium staff was ready to lock the gate, there was 3 tailgates leaving at that time. The lights had been shut off at the stadium. Man, playing old school music out there at the stadium. People were just sitting out there having a good time, watching the little alligator in the lake, eating fish. It was crazy, Larry. It was just like it should have been. Like this is true tailgating. So we got to keep on having that, and we can. It's just we got to keep believing, making these adjustments, and hopefully this team has finally found that tradition and started to gel together to know how to finish and win the game. So
sometimes it takes something that subtle to unlock.
Yes.
To unlock the greatness that these young men have in them, and hopefully that will give them impetus in these next 3 football games to run the table.
Yeah. All right, let's do it, guys. Grade time. We got our red pens out. Larry's got his tally book to put it down so we can turn in grades. All right. Offense, and we're gonna quarterbacks. We're gonna grade. Yeah, watching the alligator, Oscar. He was a little squirmy one out there Saturday.
He was hungry.
Yeah, he was. He was. He wanted some of that tiger meat that we had. So, quarterback headsets together.
Well, I thought Cam played okay. I mean, he went 18 for 20. So I'm going to give Cam a B+.
All right.
I'm going to give headset a B+ as well. And the reason I'm giving him a headset a B+ because he changed the offense up, and that's what we needed. He utilized his tight ends. I mean, he did a lot of things that he hadn't done earlier in the year. So I think we could have done better, but I'm grading him based on the fact that he was willing to change.
There you go.
I give Cam a B+ as well, because not just because of the percentage, completion percentage, but he protected the football, something that we always are concerned when he's in the game, because he sometimes is, feast or famine, home run or bust. And I thought he played within himself and within the system. I'm going to give Joe Bino a B, not a B+, but I'll give him a B. That grade could improve this week. If I see it 2 consecutive weeks, he might get the consideration of a plus. But right now, I think we stumble across that.
I'm proud of him. He gets to get his name back. Gerbino.
That's right. That's right.
Don't go to Gersino or Gardino. All right, let's go running backs. Ralph.
Well, Grambling came into this game and they were determined to not let Palmer beat them. And they stacked the line and they really didn't give him a whole lot of room. But with Palmer, I'm gonna grade him on effort because he can't block and run the ball at the same time. So I'm gonna give him a B+ as well.
I'm going to give him a B+ for something else. We know he had a great run. He runs it hard, but that big first down he caught out of the backfield.
Yes.
I didn't know he had that kind of ability down the field to catch the football. That was a critical play for us. Got us a 1st and 10 out of a bad situation. So I thought he played well both in the running and passing game. Mm-hmm. We need to look for him a little bit more in the passing game.
Exactly. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Right on. Headset, you got.
I said, I thought I gave the headset a B.
Okay. Let's go wide receivers, tight ends.
I'm going to give my tight ends a B+ as well. I thought they played a good game. They did some really good blocking. And when they got an opportunity to catch the ball, they caught the ball.
What about wide receivers?
I love my wide receivers. I think we got something that's going to be with us for the next 2 or 3 years. And if we continue to build on that, we're going to probably have the best wide receivers in the swag.
Right on. We had 70 recruits here on this past Saturday.
70?
Yeah, 70. And some of them were wide receivers. I know there was 2 back from my way there. So
yeah,
some dynamic guys.
I would give the wide receivers and tight ends a B. I'm not going to give the headset a B in the passing game because I still think there's a flaw in our pass route combinations. Mm-hmm. So I can't until I see that corrected. We got people who can catch the football, but you got to get them in spaces and with route combos that gets them free. And I have not seen that part of our offense yet.
It's a combination of, quarterback play and wide receiver play. I think if we can get the ball out a lot quicker, because Saturday,
that's the whole thing, Daryl. That's back to headsets. Yeah. If you can't protect your quarterback, you have to shorten your routes up.
Right.
Exactly. And he's been unwilling to do that.
And we were killing them down the field.
Of course. And we got guys who I'm going to say this again. We got guys that the SWAC know nothing about who are yak boys, yards after catch. Just get them the football and let them do their thing.
And it
doesn't have to be down the field.
It doesn't have to be 30 or 40 yard passes.
And the thing about it is you see it being done to us. Some of that stuff you can pick up and do yourself. And, every week.
If you're stubborn and want to do it your way, we can talk about it all day long. Mm. But until we see it on the field, I can only put that in one category. That's just a stubborn kind of person who doesn't want to make an adjustment.
Exactly. Yeah.
Let's go O-line.
I'm going to give the O-line. I got to think about this. I'm going to give them a B-. And it's not really their fault, just because you just mentioned it before. They sort of put Luke in a bad way because Grambling was blitzing him. And because our pass routes were so long, he had to stand back there. If they were short, I think we could have scored a lot more points.
Yeah, early on in this game, you could not Statue of Liberty it. Yeah. Like boom, 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 boom. That's just like their quarterback was getting the ball out of his hand.
But poor Luke was sitting with the football, in his hand, wanting to throw it, but nobody was even looking back at him because he had to wait for that route to be completed. But meanwhile, here comes Grambling. They're blitzing on every down.
Every down they was blitzing. every down.
What happened to us that we should have picked up early in that game, or even came into the game plan with? They did no different than Jackson State did to us a week
They took
before
the
in the second
blueprint.
half.
They took the
That's what it
blueprint.
was.
That's all they did.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. And you had to know that's what was going
Well,
to
the SWAC, much like the MEAC, is a copycat league.
Yes.
And so that's that again. Where do I lay that? I lay that on the headsets.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to give the offensive line a grade of C. That's what I'm going to give. A grade. They hung in there. They battled as best they could. But what I love about it is that they got better as the game went on.
As the game progressed, they did.
They didn't fold up. They got better as the game went on.
And they start having fun.
Oh yeah.
Pick them up, move them, and then you start seeing a lot of their guys start to lay down. During that game.
Literally, you can see it because the same thing that typically happens to us happened to Grambling, because when they could no longer make first downs in the second half, they fell apart.
Yes,
they totally came apart. I was watching Dooley on the TV because they had him isolated, the offensive coordinator for Grambling. Nothing that they ran was working,
especially in the third quarter.
Oh, literally.
They were dead. They were dead in the third quarter.
Let's go total offense.
So I'm going to give the total offense a B-.
I'm not laughing at you, David Beckton.
What did David say?
He say, Ralph, you and the fellas come to Vegas. I won't say there's 3 words after that, but he was saying you can wet your throat on him. We don't do that, do we?
David, we miss you, buddy. We miss you.
I'm going to give the overall offense a C. That's what that would be my grade, because here's why I'm not giving them a C plus or better. There were so many more points we left.
Yes,
absolutely.
It was available to us.
Yes.
Absolutely. And we didn't take advantage of it. Yep. So, that's why I'm giving them a C.
I agree with that.
All right, guys, let's flip sides of the ball. Let's go defensive line.
Okay, so I'm going to give the defensive line a straight B.
I like that grade. I like the intensity. I like the attack mode. I like the fact that we had several defensive linemen who flashed big time, played on the other side of the offensive line.
Yes, sir.
We were in the Grambling backfield, but most importantly, they played with fire. They played with some fight and some grit. So for that, I'll give them a B.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right. Linebackers.
Again, I think the scheme that they put them in, I think it made them excel. So I'm going to give the linebacker a C plus.
I would agree with a C plus. I tell you, Kevin Washington played a great game. He played a great game.
Yeah.
At linebacker. That's our number 14 linebacker out of Miami Central.
Yes.
He really flashed a lot in this football game.
Yes.
And I think we have him for a couple more years.
We do. We do.
Yeah.
He's going to get better then.
He is.
Yeah.
Ooh, this is going to be big. Defensive back.
Well, I think they played decent Saturday. And I think they played decent because they had a different look. It was a different defense. And I think the coach put them in a position where they can excel. And I think they did a decent job. So I'm going to give them a C plus.
I would agree with that. I thought we were toward the end of the game, Grambling was begging for calls.
Yes, they were.
And literally begging for interference calls, but they couldn't complete anything.
Hey.
They could not get the pass routes. There was no separation. We were right there contesting everything, and so I would agree with that grade, Ralph.
It has to be called both ways, and we know now there. If you're gonna find us, but there were some missed calls.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That we should have gotten.
Oh yeah,
weren't called.
Well, the commentator said as much.
Yeah.
A couple of questionable calls.
I understand that he complained the week before, and you fined him $5,000. So now you're trying to keep his pocket from hurting. So, but you got to call it.
But they're SWAC referees.
Oh yeah,
they've never been that good.
But there was some blatant things.
There was some holding that was going on out there that would have qualified as muggings, okay? You could get charged with assault, okay? Literally.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So. But again, you're dealing with SWAC referees. I don't understand why you're surprised.
But we know they came in being a very heavy penalty.
Right, and that's the thing that, I'm like, wow. I could even see that, but then you also know what happened the week before,
But again, just like Jackson State came into Daytona thinking, we could sleep on this one. This is not going to be that tough. Yeah, but Grambling came in with the same attitude,
and I do believe that even if you didn't come in with that attitude, we saw something that in the first half of the Jackson State game that showed that our team hadn't quit. And if we could just find that nucleus to make adjustments and our players adapt to those adjustments, that we can play with anybody.
Well, again, the coaches have to coach that, though.
Yeah, right.
I mean, because one of our biggest arguments this year is that we make no adjustments at halftime.
Right.
But that wasn't the issue on Saturday. We did make adjustments.
Well, we are. This is a kind of a unique way of saying it. We are 2-17 from a coaching perspective, but from a talent perspective, we're much better.
Jackson
than that.
State. I mean,
we're much better than that.
Even up with,
of course.
And so I think when people see a team, when opponents see a team like us that's been continually underachieving, it's easy for them to look past us. I expect Southern with everything riding on the line for them.
They're going to take us for granted.
It's going to be hard for them to be for real with us. And if we're able to be in that ball game, we're gonna cause some problems for them.
Definitely.
I think so. But and we need to also understand that since we came to the SWAC, we have not played Wildcat football.
No.
We haven't been anywhere near it.
It almost seems like we adopted the SWAC mentality of playing football and like, hey, Miak, here goes your talent back. Exactly. Keep that over there.
We came trying to be finesse.
Right. And when a lot of the SWAC teams actually adopted to be more physical, because they're bringing 2 Miak teams into the league. So, guys, let's total defense.
I'm going to give the defense a C+.
I'll live with that. I can't go any higher than a C+. But
no,
I'll go with a C+.
See, the one thing you got to understand. So they scored what, 21 points?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
7 of those points was on the special teams.
Yeah. The
so in reality, their offense only scored 14 points against us.
Yeah.
Which is still
what they average, 18? Gremlin?
Yeah. Which is still is that acceptable to you? And the only reason I'm asking is that acceptable to you because it was not their starting quarterback.
I think that kid played.
He played a great game.
I think that kid
played a great game.
Well, Joseph has already said he's going to start for the remainder because he doesn't think Crowley's going to be out at least 3 more weeks. That's the season. Yeah. I think, Ralph, they were scoring about 24 points a game, if I remember right.
Yeah, that's what I was
Grambling was. It was more than 18.
So, okay. Did you gave the same? You gave the same.
Right.
Okay.
I said the same thing.
Let's go special teams to wrap it up.
Well, sometimes your special teams can be too good. Because, Frederic, that was probably one of the most beautiful punts I've ever seen in my life. and he actually outkicked his coverage.
And he bobbled it.
He did. But really, that wasn't the problem. If you look at it on TV, the problem wasn't the fact that he outkicked the coverage. The coverage got all boxed in.
Yeah.
They didn't stay in their lanes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's what it was because the coverage was to our sideline he caught it over his shoulder and went
And
the
went
other
the
way.
other way. Yeah, he
And,
did.
and so we didn't have any lane integrity in our covering of the kick.
Another thing too within that, we got to protect the outsides better on extra field goals.
Of course,
because they were getting close a lot of times, and so when we tried that field goal late in the game and it got blocked, we knew that there was a big possibility of that.
Well, they were coming. They got penetration more than I'd seen us leak for the whole year. And so therefore it got tipped and it was blocked.
Yeah.
I'm just glad it wasn't blocked and picked up and ran back. I can live
when it was blocked. I'm glad it went back.
Went back the other way. Because at that point, when I saw it, I said, "Well, I can live with that.
Yeah.
It's a 3-point game. We're still
defense.
leading.
Come on, let's go.
Keep playing the way you've been playing."
And his kicks tend to
they're a little low trajectory.
They come off low.
Yeah, a little low trajectory.
And I was just wondering though, would it help if we move him back a half a step? Because most of his kicks take off low.
If we do that, it might take away from his time to get to the ball. Like when the ball snapped, if he's back a step, and the way they were coming, I mean, they were getting in there pretty quick.
So we just got to block it better.
Well, we got to protect that out.
And he has got to work on getting the trajectory and getting it up. Get it up early.
Because we know he can hit the distance. It's just
right. And I think the one that he made a 40 and he missed, the block was 37.
Yeah.
So we know he can get it there. He just had a low trajectory.
Yeah. Final stats of Saturday's game: Grambling finished with 328. Total yards, Bethune-Cookman 315. Passing yards, Grambling 206, Bethune-Cookman 235. Rushing yards, Grambling 122, Bethune-Cookman 80. Penalty yards, Grambling 8 for 85, Bethune-Cookman 6 for 50. First down, Grambling 19, Bethune-Cookman 16. Third down conversions, Grambling 2 for 12, Bethune-Cookman 5 for 13. Fourth down conversions, Grambling 0 for 4, Bethune-Cookman 0 for 0.
Can we just talk about that third down conversion? That 5 for 13?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you got 11 yards to go for a first down, why are you running off tackle? Why are you throwing a sideline pass?
Well, that's our tendency to waste downs. We've been doing that.
Yeah.
We said this earlier in the broadcast, earlier in the year. We will typically waste a down out of our 3 downs for 1st and 10. That's a theme of what sometimes he calls.
Something that was funny, I mean, mostly every other coach you see on their play script, there's
you run to the marker.
Down in distance. Yeah. Okay, these are the plays that will get me this amount of yardage on this particular down. And so that's what I got to run. But when you're going off up here, and like you said, in the middle of middle of war.
He's calling his game.
Yeah, Joe coming off of this, but Joe is scramble.
He's not looking.
But that's what I'm saying.
He's not looking at real down in distances. Okay, we don't need that much to get there, and that was my reason for not grading the offense higher, because we should have been way higher. Our percentage for third down completions makes should have been closer to what Cam's passing was.
Right.
Exactly.
We should have been.
Exactly.
They may have held us 2 times. We had no business being 5 of 13. We should have been something like,
should have been almost 10 for 13.
Literally,
Yeah. Everybody that you see who has a play script, they're writing, okay, this play was 2nd and 10, and we ran this play, and we got this much yardage on it.
That's how it's done.
This is how we got to come back to it. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I'm going to run this, but they forgot all about this. Just almost like the D's play. Great play call when nobody in the stadium expected it.
I had been sitting on the couch looking at the defense and saying, please throw the ball in the seam. Because I'm telling you, Daryl, they were so preoccupied
Right.
with looking at where the tight end was going. That tight end was like he was really like a decoy because they were trying to jump him, and here comes Dees out the backfield. If you look, he almost got a penalty for taunting.
He did. I thought they were going to call that.
I thought they were going to call.
I thought they were going to call that
because he was that far ahead of the linebacker. But it had been there all day long. It had been there all day long.
You know, something that I haven't seen that we did throw. We have not come back to that wheel route play. I mean, that play was similar to it, but we have not come back to things that.
Man, let me tell you what would have worked, and I hated we didn't call it. The bubble screen, the bomb would have killed them.
Yes, it would have.
Particularly on the blitz side where they were coming, it would have killed them.
Slow them down. Bam.
Now that ball would have only gone 5 yards, and he would have taken it to the house.
But again, if he's not coaching based on what's been successful,
but down in distance, yeah.
I mean,
it goes back to what Larry was saying earlier. It's the stubborn part. Yes, and don't get us wrong that we're happy to get the win.
Oh, no doubt.
But we got to continue to improve. Every weekend ain't gonna be like last weekend.
Yeah, you're 2-7, so you don't have a choice. I mean, only way up is up. Again, I'll say this: we got 3 more first-year coaches. One Saturday, one the following Saturday, and of course the one over there in Orlando.
Right.
All first-year coaches.
Definitely. Guys, let's go to our Southern Scouting Report. Those guys come. We go in there. Those guys are 5-4. They beat Alabama A&M last weekend on the last second touchdown. They come in 4-1 in the conference. They score about 19.89 points per game. On the year, they have 179 compared to their opponents' 24 points. That's a number we have to keep mindful of. What you scored this past weekend, you got to score that or better to be able to best them.
Yeah. And it's available. It really is.
Yeah. Their opponents have outscored them, 216 points. They come into this game having gained a total of 1,240 yards on the ground compared to their opponents' 1,429. They've scored 9 touchdowns rushing. Their passing game on the season, they've attempted 293 passes, completed 152, 8 interceptions on the season. They average about 218 yards per game. Total on the season passing 1,967. Total offense, they've ran 616 plays. They average 5.2 yards per play. Average yards per game, 356 yards per game for a total of 3,207 yards, 21 touchdowns. As far as penalties, they come in heavily penalized team. They average about 72.67 yards a game for on the season, 72 penalties, 654 yards. Time possession, they average about 32 minutes per game compared to their opponents, 31.2. So you have to be able, offense, to get our defense off the field. All right, we got to be able to keep our defense off the field so that we can sustain, and get them off the field. Get their offense off the field.
They want to run it,
yes,
more than they want to throw it. I think again, we got to have a heavier box. I'd rather take my chances with them throwing the football and me being in attack mode with a heavier box to be able to stand in there and counter their running attack. That's what they did to us last year.
Right.
In Jacksonville. They want to run that football.
Yeah, but last week they threw the ball 37 times.
Yeah, they threw it a little more than they have. Yeah. But against Florida A&M, heavy run. And that's what they would, because they knew Florida A&M have been suspect to the run.
Run, exactly.
So that, and what has Bethune-Cookman been? Suspect to the run. So we're gonna get that. We're gonna get that, and our cornerbacks are going to have to stand up, even if they're man to man, against their passing attack. But what I don't want them to do is get that running attack going. You notice the game Saturday? Once we took away Gramblin's running attack, then they became discombobulated offensively because they didn't throw the football nearly as well.
Right.
Making them one-dimensional.
That's what. And we showed that we can do it against a running attack.
Exactly, against a running attack.
Yeah.
Because that's what they came in to do.
Right.
They came in to run.
Right.
Well, I think that Southern is going to come in to run as well.
Well, it's their game to win the West. So even the article I read this morning from the news release that they had out, one of the TV stations in Baton Rouge was talking about that, and they were thinking that, well, this is Bethune. We ought to be able to get this done. We're not looking past anybody,
right?
The football,
but it's just Bethune.
It's just Bethune, literally. And they're low in a lot of categories. All those little innuendos that they're throwing in there. And so if we go out there and
you shut the run, this is the thing that now big time plays in our favor. It won't be as of this point in time, unless another rain shower or something comes up. It won't be a rain game to where they will just keep it on the field. I mean, on the ground. But if we come out in the defense that we had on Saturday and change it up, show them some different fronts, show them some different stuff on the back end, we cover well. I mean, you stay heavily in this game. And,
and they have a propensity to throw interceptions.
Yes.
You talked about the number there.
Yes,
right.
Okay. Yes.
So I just don't want them bludgeoning us running the football and giving up those kind of yards and chunk plays.
Yeah, but if the defensive coordinator set the defense up like he did Saturday, I think we can stop the run. But I don't trust our coaching staff like that.
But the other part of it, as Daryl alluded to, we got to make first down.
Got to make first down.
We got to keep the defense fresh and keep them off the football field.
If you can do that, I mean, in the second half, that's what we did Saturday. You got them off the field. They got off the field to give the offense the ball back. But, we just have to sustain drives. And hopefully those running lanes will be open for us. Because, you give them a dose of their own medicine.
This, to me, gentlemen, is a Javon Ross.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
That young man,
Javon Ross,
McCants, those speed guys that nobody has seen.
D's
in the slot. Nobody has seen that. That could be a breakout game for us if we go in that direction. Still not going away from a tight end.
No.
But people know a little bit more about the tight ends now. But they don't know about what we have in the slot. And we got to take advantage of that.
Yeah, but if we get the tight ends involved, but not necessarily throwing to them, and get their linebackers accustomed to moving back, then our run game should do well.
No doubt. Once they know that we're a threat to hurt them in the passing game, that creates more running room for Dennis. But the other thing is that we need Cam to be every bit as dialed in.
Yes, yeah.
Protect the football. No turnover. Stay within the offense. And most importantly, Joe Giardino, call us a good game.
Call a good game. That's all you got to do, like you said. A lot of your play calling, or the lack of it, can be overcome by talent. The play. If you get, throw this player the ball, okay, to where you thought we get 2 yards, he just got 6 yards on it. You know what I mean? Because his athletic ability.
Mm-hmm. I'm anticipating buying a new TV for the living room. There's nothing wrong. It's an older TV, a nice TV, color TV. But if I see Joe Giardino call one of those bubble screens out there with the 2 receivers stacked on the sideline, I'm going to shoot that TV this weekend. I'm going to be going to buy a new TV. I don't want to see that play. It doesn't need to be in the offense. Get it out of there.
I'm with you, Larry.
So you're going to go to Walmart or Best Buy?
I'm Best Buy. I'm going to Sam's.
Don't shoot it
I'm
yet,
going to
Larry.
get a Sam's, and I'm going to get me a Samsung TV, okay?
Don't shoot it yet, man. We got a time before Black Friday.
I know. But I just despise that play. I despise it because you're not fooling anybody. First of all,
We lose.
We're not blocking anybody in that stacked formation.
They're sitting on
They're
it.
sitting right there. They're ready to jump it as soon as you look that way. So take it out of the offense. Why can't he see that? Everybody else can see it.
He's not looking. He got his mind made up what he wants to do.
Waste it down.
Waste every time. And we lose. We usually lose 2 or 3 yards on that play. So we'll see.
Ralph, what's your offensive defensive game plan on Saturday?
Well, we've already stated what we think we need to do, and we need to make sure we keep the double tight ends. We make sure that we got the tight ends into the game, and we need to stay with the short stuff and stop going for home runs. And on defense, I like to see the defense come out with a defense base stacking the defense and stop the run. Because you want that guy to pass. You want Southern to pass because he's not that good. So you want him to pass. So I'm going in trying to stop the run.
Got to.
Yeah. And I'm going in to hit him in the nose because I'm not sure anybody in the West have hit Southern in the nose.
No.
But again, they do have a lot of penalties.
So if your game plan is minimizing yours, keeping them, I believe if you get them upset and, get them rattled, they have not had to truly dig one out. And what we saw from us Saturday, no matter who we were playing, we still came from behind and dug it out. Yeah. And I think you cruise on against a team like that.
That gives you a different kind of confidence.
It does.
When you can come from behind in the fashion that we did, albeit they were home, but the fact that you put up 17 points in the second half.
Larry, it was, we were home, but disappointed in some of the fans. I want to cover that too. Yeah. We were everywhere else but in Daytona Stadium when our guys were playing. There's, there were a lot of open seats in there.
But up to that point, though, we really haven't given any of our fans any reason to think that we're ready to play football and we're going to be there for them. We have really, our coaching staff really has not done a good job of preparing our team. So I don't agree that they shouldn't come, but I kind of understand why they don't come.
You never know when that's going to be the one.
Well, that's the way.
What you say, Ralph? 2 games?
Yeah.
Which one? Homecoming?
Homecoming in the Florida Classic. Those are the majority of our
$85 tickets?
Yeah. That's what they told me. I thought,
oh boy, you guys.
It was actually 89. I thought, I wonder who she talking to.
She wasn't talking to you, Ralph.
She said 89.
No, we don't pump that kind of gas anymore, right? No, thank you.
If you can get it.
Getting ready for Christmas, right?
Yeah.
Getting ready for Christmas.
I thought, gee whiz, man.
To watch who in concert?
89, man. It's almost like Beyonce is, I think, 100. But
there's a different type of fan that's watching games today, and
it is,
and certainly our fans are very different. That football game we watched last night from this building. Last week from this building.
Right.
Those fans. Now that was a football game.
And
that was incredible.
somebody was saying, like, I think it was 11,000 people on a Thursday night.
Yeah.
That's,
And a very clean played football game. And the fans were in it to the end. Both fans.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah, it was quite a few Central people in that game too.
It was
quite a few. But again, we gotta earn our fans back.
We do.
Yeah.
We gotta earn them back.
Nothing cures that better than winning. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. We gotta earn them back. I mean, we haven't done anything in the last 4 years to deserve complete loyalty.
No.
I mean, we got to earn them back. We got to remember we've been in a 4 year drought.
We can't talk about loyalty here on the show. You know why?
You guys, y'all tickle me.
I know we're gonna hear from you tonight, Vernon Jackson.
Your classmate.
Boy. This is my Thursday night therapy. Okay, it really is.
And we want everyone to call in tonight. We want, when we get to our call-in period, we want everyone to call in, but we are not going to talk about politics. If you want to talk about our Wildcats winning, if you want to talk about our Wildcats playing
what about
Southern this weekend,
what about attendance?
If you want to talk about the volleyball team, we can talk about attendance too. It matters.
Oh boy.
It matters. Larry, did you give your game plan for this Saturday? I know you.
I basically that was it. I think we've got to make first downs. We got to play defense with our offense. Keep our offense on the field as much as we can. Take advantage of the things that we did last week offensively. I mentioned to you about utilization of our quick game and getting the football to our playmakers while also, utilizing the tight end. Defensively, we've got to have a heavy box. We got to play that defense we played, and we got to be in attack mode like we were the other day, the second half of the game.
Right.
And if we do those kind of things, I think those give us the best chances to win this football game. Think about this. I watched the football game last night. I started to call you guys. Maction was on.
Right.
And we were watching Western Michigan in Northern Illinois University.
Someone we've seen this year.
We've seen. Yeah. And in that game last night, Northern Illinois ran a kickoff return back to take the lead, and that opened up the floodgates for them to beat Western Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
Darnell D's ran two of those back. We need to get something out of our kick return game.
Man, I tell you what, on Saturday, I know, and I don't know who is like, you scored on the outside against a D1 team
twice. Yep, twice.
He could have had one Saturday if he stays outside our sideline.
If he stays outside.
But that's not the blocking scheme.
No,
I mean, it's not the blocking scheme, and then we don't block. So,
but the other part of the two he got against Western Michigan, he made those.
Yeah, by himself.
He both made them himself
on the outside.
On the outside. But we need a big game from him.
Yeah.
In the special teams, because if we can get anything score wise out of the special teams, that's a bonus.
Definitely.
So if we can do that and win the turnover battle, we cannot give them any short fields or some cheap touchdowns. We got to be good in those areas.
I
we do that, we can win.
We'll play a pretty dry game now that Raphael is.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get much.
Yeah, it turned.
Yeah. New Orleans,
Mexico.
New Orleans may get a little more much, but Baton Rouge is above that.
Yeah.
So I don't think it will come that far up into the state.
No.
You're going to get some rain though.
No, it turned.
No, it turned.
It turned.
Yeah.
It's heading to Mexico.
Mexico, almost down back.
Crazy, right?
Almost back to Cancun. It's really hooking all the way around.
Yeah.
Like your curveball, right? We used to throw in your pitcher. We used to play baseball.
Huge shout out before we go to our commercial break. Huge shout out to Raymond Woody III. See, he received a Legacy Bowl invitation that he accepted. And there's going to be many more bowl game invitation, all-star bowl games coming in from players. So for our senior players. So great to hear that. I mean, it's starting to turn into the season that we imagine. It's just we all have to keep believing, including the players, the coaches, coach them up, make sure we're ready to go. Let's finish strong.
I tell you what, guys, and not to get ahead of yourself, but if we pull this off this weekend, we're going to be a tough out.
Oh, yeah.
For the remaining 2 games.
Yeah.
If we get this one.
We need this.
If we get this one, we're going to be a real tough out. And all those people who getting rid of classic tickets, they may be trying to buy them back.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Guys, that'll take us into our Alpha One Staffing commercial break. We'll hear a word from Alpha One Staffing. When we come back, it will be our live call-in session. We'll be back on the Hail Wildcats Gridiron Show.
As we begin to reconsider how and where we want to work, Alpha One Staffing is here to help companies bridge the talent gap.
I really struggled to find a second career on my own after my retirement.
It's been hard for us to find the right candidates who will push our team and business to the next level.
Then I heard about Alpha One Staffing.
Then I heard about Alpha One Staffing.
Then I heard about Alpha One Staffing.
Alpha One Staffing partnered with our HR team to help us understand exactly how to navigate this new digital world, even recommending strategies for recruitment and employee development.
I needed a job that would support my needs and lifestyle while also challenging me. Alpha One Staffing was completely transparent and knowledgeable about the process and provided me with the tools to feel more confident and prepared. I couldn't wait to start my new career.
We partner with our clients and assess their needs. We are the matchmakers, and our goal is to provide each client with the candidates that make a difference within their organization.
Alpha One Staffing understood that we needed a candidate with digital marketing experience in our industry, someone with an innovative mindset who could help expand our social media presence. Now, we couldn't be happier with our presence online and the impact that we are making globally.
Alpha One Staffing presented us with incredible, highly qualified, and dedicated candidates. We will definitely be using Alpha One Staffing for our next hire.
I was hired permanently after 6 months. This wouldn't have happened without Alpha One Staffing helping me get my foot in the door. If you're looking for work, I highly recommend Alpha One Staffing.
If you're a job seeker or an employer, go to alphaonestaffing.com and send us your resume or tell us about your hiring needs today.
When a disaster strikes, will you step in to help your community? Alpha One Staffing is currently seeking disaster debris monitors to assist in supporting our neighbors, businesses, and government institutions by supervising the debris cleanup efforts. Alpha One Staffing, a leader in Florida staffing solutions, partners with state and local governments to provide trained debris removal monitors to supervise complex disaster debris operations, focusing on compliance and safety. These monitors will not be handling the physical labor, but the oversight of debris removal. To learn more about this position and to apply, please visit alphaonestaffing.com.
And we're back from our commercial break. Thanks, Alpha One Staffing, for your sponsorship of the Hail Wildcats Gridiron Show. If you're looking for some employment assistance, make sure to hit the good people up at Alpha One Staffing at alphaonestaffing.com. They will be sure to help you out. All right. Ralph, you ready to talk to some people?
I like to talk to CC if he calls in.
You're such a comedian tonight.
No politics, okay? No politics.
Oh, my. All right, fans, it's time to get it off your chest. Say it with your chest. Also, 386-287-1226, 386-287-1226. 6. Ralph is a predictor. He was able to say on Saturday that if we score this touchdown right here, we'll win the game. So
Nostradamus.
yeah, that's him.
There you go.
That is him,
Thank you.
the big guy. Yeah. He's waiting on your call. 386-287-1226. Caller, you're on the Hail Wildcats Gridiron Show. Welcome to 6.
Yes, how are you all doing? This is Chuck Hunt calling from Monroe, Louisiana. How are you three doing this evening?
Wonderful.
We're doing well, Chuck. How's it going, my man?
Oh, going fine. Just listening, watching and listening to your show, and hats off to you all. I know you all beat the Grambling State University Tigers. It was a situation of, I know you all, the 1904 school, Dr. Miriam Bethune started and beat the 1901 school started by Mr. Charles P. Adams.
Yes, sir.
Alumnus. Yes, and Dr. Bethune did prevail in this one. And I looked at the situation you're in, and when I looked at the way you all play, I think back to when you all played Jackson State in your homecoming game, how you all looked in the first half of that game, and it just came down to in that second half, it just came down to depth. I don't think that went Jackson State's way. But I just looked at the talent that you have on that team. You all have promise for the future, just like Grambling has promise. I know Mickey Joseph is the first season coach, and he's trying to get a team. He's trying to bring the program together. But I think the season's coming close to an end. I think there is not only going to be a player evaluation. I still believe there's going to be coaching evaluations as well.
Most definitely. I think that's going to be conference wide. There's going to be some evaluations because, even with what we were talking about earlier with, the portal and NIL, you got to make those adjustments too as a staff, because that's how you kind of settle some of that down. Where
Coach Joseph said there were going to be some internal adjustments this season, with the remainder of the season. He's not waiting to the end. He didn't say what those were.
Right.
He just said
there were going to be some changes. And I know, coming into this game, he said he was stepping in more with the offensive calls. Correct. Definitely. But you have to make those changes. I mean, you have to make those changes, or you have to make adjustments to make it better because, like we say, there's so much riding on the optics and the visual stuff to where, hey, if I'm a young man and I go in the portal, from another school and you're trying to recruit me, like, what are you doing there? Your record such and such. You're not even throwing to the, for lack of a better, you're not even throwing to the tight end now. So why are you trying to recruit me as a tight end to come there? Exactly. So
that's true. It's a microwave effect, and it's casino gambling all in one. And that's definitely the transfer portal is. You just don't know what you're going to get out of that. And I look at Grambling. See, that's what Grambling. When Hugh Jackson was there, he was living in a portal, and he brought the talent in, but it didn't work out. Mickey Joseph was trying to do it the old-fashioned way of bringing in talent, going to the high schools and developing talent. He say he's going to get some in the portal, but he say he's not going to live in the portal. That's what he said. He's coached on all these levels. He's former quarterback at Nebraska. He was an assistant at he worked at Louisiana Tech, and he has a national championship to his credit from LSU.
Yes,
on that 2019 national championship team under Ed Orgeron.
Right. And I think the biggest thing is, not living in the portal, but there it goes back to our conversation that we had earlier. Like, are the fans, are the stakeholders able to hold out long enough? And it's a, it's a juggling thing. Are you able? Do you want to win right now, or hey, you got to give me time to build this? I'm going to play young guys, but within playing those younger guys, give me 2-3 years, and those younger guys are going to kill people.
everything today is instant gratification in our society.
That's what you're exactly right, sir.
That's what it is.
It is. And you just have to wonder, and that comes down to your athletic director. Does he understand that, hey, this is going to take a while. I need you to back me. This is what I'm going to do. I need you to back me and understand that we're building something here that's not going to look pretty at first, but when we get done, 14-karat gold.
Exactly, Daryl. You're telling the truth. You hit it. You spot on right there, because some of these athletic directors are trying to keep their jobs.
Right.
And that's what you made some great points there. And I was thinking about you all just talking about Billy Napier. That Strickland is keeping. Said that they're going to keep him at
at Florida.
Yeah. And by the way, one of the guys that's on that Florida staff, guy, he's one of Mickey Jones' homeboys from New Orleans.
Jabbar Jalou.
Named Jabbar Jalou. Yeah, know him quite well.
Yeah.
Know both of them. Yeah.
Good deal. So where are you going to be this weekend, Chuck?
I will be. We plan on being over at Grambling for the Grambling Alabama State game. It's going to be their last home game of the season. They're playing. They're playing Alabama State. It's going to be High School Day and Military Appreciation Day over there, and hopefully, I don't know, it's going to be tough playing Alabama State because Eddie Robinson Jr. not related to the legendary coach.
Right.
He's from New Orleans. He's from New Orleans as well. They all from down in New Orleans. He's a former Alabama State player. Yeah, and he has a stingy defense still, and they don't give you anything flashy on the offense, but
they get the job done when it's time to get the job done. Other than last week, But yeah.
That's another story. And I see you all are playing Southern coming up, and
yes, sir.
I'll tell you one thing. I think they're sticking their chest at him now because Xavier Tissett is now the quarterback because Biden was not moving. Noah Biden was not moving the team. He used to be at Grambling, and but Xavier Tissett is now taking over, and he's moving the ball real well. I'm looking at what he did last weekend, going back looking at that game against Alabama A&M, and he's looking. I think Tissett is their person, and I was looking at who's quarterbacking down. I know was Sprague back in there? Luke Sprague put back in.
He didn't come back in on Saturday. Cam Ransom, but it's going to be hopefully, it's a game time decision, so we'll see.
Yeah, he got hurt.
But we got a plethora of. No, he actually got hurt last weekend against Grambling.
Yeah, he got hurt last weekend.
Yeah,
he sure did, and
so we'll see.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll see.
I didn't mean to be on this long.
No, you're okay,
I know a lot of other callers, but I enjoy conversing with you three, and when the other guy, what's his name that was on there when I first called? What's his name? Jerry.
Oh yeah, Jerry, the creator. Yeah, Jerry Bell. I thought we thought you were talking about CC, but we don't know where he is.
He's out there somewhere.
You might see him in Grambling on Saturday. We don't know.
Come on over to Monroe.
Yeah.
I'm 33 miles from Grambling. Grambling.
Definitely so.
I'm on Interstate 20.
There you go.
I'm 120 miles from Jackson in east of me.
Okay.
Jackson, Mississippi. Yeah.
And that's where we, when we come up there, we usually stay in Jackson and drive out to Grambling. So, Chuck, thank you for calling, man. Yeah. Thank you for calling, man. Thank you for coming on the show. Definitely, and we'll talk to you here shortly.
All right, you all take care and have a great weekend.
All right, can we still get? I'm still trying to get Hail Wildcats.
Yep. Well, I'll go ahead.
Come on, you can say it. You're honorary. There you go. My man.
Southern this time. I'll say Hail Wildcats.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate it, Chuck, man.
They have an arrogance down there in Baton Rouge. All right, you all take care.
All right, man. Have a good night, man.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. We got it. We finally got him.
You're persistent.
Hey, he had to. If you're going to call into the show, we need a Hail Wildcats. Sure, that's the only way your number don't get blocked. I'm just messing with you, Chuck, but I'm serious.
He's just messing with you, but he's serious.
Yeah, but I'm serious. 386. But I'm serious, Ralph. 386-287-1226. 386-287-1226. That is the number to call in to the Hail Wildcats Gridiron Show. Caller, you're on the Hail Wildcats Gridiron Show. Welcome.
Good evening, gentlemen. How you doing tonight?
Well, we would be better.
Our man.
We're flying the missing man formation right now, but we're doing pretty good, Vernon. How's it going tonight, man?
I tell you, yesterday game sad because me and my brother, we all sit in the same section with Miss Emma. She like a seat below us, but we all sit in the same section. So yesterday game sad. It felt like a championship game. I tell you, it felt like a championship game when they beat Grambling. I tell you, it felt like the old Bethune-Cookman football is back.
It did. It truly did. Just the atmosphere and just to see everyone hang around after the game and just, it truly did. It was just like it felt almost like homecoming, but without all the tailgates and all the people there. But it was, it was awesome. It was awesome. So
absolutely. So I tell you, hopefully moving forward, I'm hoping that whatever changes they made, hopefully that made difference for us to say this is the Bethune-Cookman team. Hopefully moving forward that we're going to see.
You know something that I have, and I'm not being superstitious here, but I have now seen the defensive coordinator 3 times. I saw him on Saturday. Well, I saw him 3 times Saturday. So I saw him before the game, face to face. Saw him before the game, fist bump, walking on the legacy wall. Then I saw him at halftime. He was smiling at halftime. Then I saw him after the game and, jubilant, comes down out of the press box, hugs his wife. Then we saw him tonight, and he was smiling tonight. So hopefully that's an indication of what is to come on Saturday.
Hopefully. One thing, gentlemen, I know the Gridiron Show, you have the bus to go to Louisiana. Can you tell them what date and time the bus is leaving and from where and when it's going to return?
So it's letsgowildcats.org. Letsgowildcats.org, and we'll put that up /fanbus2SU. Or if you just go to letsgowildcats.org, they can see all the information and details on there for that trip up to Southern. And then we're, not to jump ahead, but we're going to fly out to Texas Southern next weekend, big Houston trip. So letsgowildcats.org is that.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I appreciate you all. Just sorry that that was last home game because I look forward, me and my brother, Reverend Lloyd Jackson, coming into the game and coming over to the tailgate, to the Hail Wildcat, tailgate. It's just awesome.
There's nothing like a Hail Wildcats Gridiron Club tailgate. You never know who you're going to run into over there. You never know what kind of food you're going to be eating over there. And you never know what kind of reptile is going to be in the areas. I think that alligator that's over there got mad with the snake. It was like, man, you went through over there. But no, it's always a good time. And, it's always a good time over there. So we look forward to next year for our tailgates. And, let's keep on supporting our Wildcats. We still got 3 games left. And we hope to bring W's to that win column.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Hopefully, y'all pack up that alligator and bring him to Orlando to eat up some rappers.
We're working on it already. We're bringing the exterminators.
But, gentlemen, I appreciate you all. Like I say, Hail Wildcats, and hopefully the winning tradition continues. And I definitely need them to beat them Raptors on November 23rd because that's my birthday. So let's pray that we really.
Oh yeah, we got to get that then.
Oh, absolutely. We got to work on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thanks
Hail
for calling,
Wildcats.
man. Hail Wildcats, and have a
Wildcats.
good night, sir. Thanks for calling, Bird. All right, man.
All right, good.
Good night. 386-287-1226. 386-287-1226. That is the number to speak to the Hail Wildcats Gridiron Gang, guys. Caller, you're on the Hail Wildcats Gridiron Show. Welcome.
Hey guys, another great show, guys. It's Daryl on the TL. I just want to call and say, I know Larry was smiling. I know Larry wasn't at the ball game, so he analyzed every, Swipe Network. Every play had a replay. Every play had. So I know Larry saw it 3 and 4 times.
Right.
But I want you guys to look at something right quick. I want to be long. We had 34 seniors on the field pregame. But here's a stat for you: the offensive line is playing 4 freshmen.
Yes.
And we got a freshman running back. So a lot of the young guys are standing up on this ball club right now. We're going to be a hard out. We go to Baton Rouge and we play well and we sneak one against Southern. We never beat Southern. We sneak one. We're going to be trouble coming down the rest of the season.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
No,
For sure.
no
For
joke
sure.
about that, Daryl.
You ready
But
to
here's
get
one other thing I want to put out there. I was looking after Luke Sprague got hurt. I was up in the box and I looked down and I saw Cam warm up. And then I said, who's next? Who's behind Cam? We got Batea. But then I saw these 2 freshmen who never even put on their helmets. Number 15, Charlie Brooks, Virginia Lynchburg. Remember that name? Out of Orlando.
Know him well.
And the 6'3" freshman out of New York, Nasheem, another Dees.
Yeah,
Number
another
16,
D's. Yeah.
Nasheem Dees.
Yeah.
Those kids can spin it also. So we're evaluating talent. We still got a few more games to go. But if one play happens here or there, you could see a rookie quarterback come in and can possibly lead the Cats on the victories. So it's interesting to see how this rest of the season, plays out.
Definitely.
Got
Definitely.
that right.
Absolutely.
Ready to go to Baton Rouge, man?
I'm ready now, buddy. Can you come back right now?
Yeah, I'll see you up right after the show, man. We heading out.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, I'll be ready. I'll be ready, guys.
You got Miss Ruthie taken care of, right?
Boy, y'all need help.
I got my ring light. We're gonna do a podcast on the bus.
Oh Lord. There has to be a beat button on there.
Great show, guys.
Hey,
Enjoy
thanks
it.
a lot, D, man. We'll talk to you on Saturday, man. Have a good night.
Sideline, man.
Yes, sir.
Me and you.
We're there.
All right.
All right. Have a good night. Hail Wildcats.
Hail Wildcats.
Yeah, Wildcat.
386-287-1226. 386-287-1226. We have fun on the Hail Wildcats Gridiron Show. There's not. We're serious when we talk about football,
Right.
but we have some fun, and before the show starts, and
Right.
during the show, and after it's over. I don't know which one's worse, either before, after, or during. 386-287-1226. 386-287-1226. Ralph, where are you watching? You going to Baton Rouge, or where are you watching the game from? So there might be 2 TVs being involved.
Oh, boy.
I think I'm gonna go to Larry's house so we can only buy one team.
See what I mean?
And he cooks up a lot of food.
Yeah, he does. Yes, Miss King, we are sorry about that little snake that crawled around over there. We'll take care of it better next time. 386-287-1226. That is the number to call into the Hail Wildcats Gridiron Show. We want to hear from you, fans. 386-287-1226. Coming off a big win on this past Saturday against the Grambling Tigers, and we're headed to do some more work against
Southern University.
Yes, sir, the Jaguars. So we are definitely locked in and headed for that. That's a 2 p.m. Central Standard Time kickoff, 3 p.m. Eastern against the Southern Jaguars. Man, great Cajun food. Looking forward to it. Heading out that way.
Beautiful Mumford Stadium.
Yes,
Wonderful
yes,
stadium.
yes.
Beautiful campus. Stadium sits right over the bluff that runs around the stadium. And across town is LSU, which sits right adjacent to the Mississippi River.
Right. Getting texts over here from some Southern fans that,
Tell them they can come on our side.
They can't they, Ralph?
Yes, they can. We're not those kind of people.
Yeah.
It's not like they in Tallahassee.
Wait, why y'all tuning in to our show? Y'all ain't got a show that y'all can tune in to? That's a personal dart at one of them. 386-287-1226. 386-287-1226. Southern University. And like you said, hey man, that would be such a huge win.
And Daryl made a point. We've never beaten Southern.
Right.
Football.
Right. Definitely. So
not only that though, it would just be fitting that the two
Louisiana teams.
That would be beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, for a long time, we had been on the snide against Grambling, and now we beat them regularly now. So we're due against the Jaguar Cats, but a very storied program. Boy, I remember going to Southern games, particularly Southern and Florida A&M, and some of the talent that came out of Baton Rouge. Some great NFL football players.
Definitely so.
And a number of them were from Florida.
Wow. It's just great, man. Great that we're able to, take this kind of football in. These guys are able to, wear that maroon and gold on their jersey and take it across the country. And people are noticing, man. People are definitely noticing. We were down but not out. And, talk a few weeks ago was, is Cookman going to win a game this year?
Yeah.
2 under their belt, headed for 3.
I was doing
if it's the Lord's will.
Doing a little historical research, Black College kind of stuff. And, for years, we had a segregated high school system of football in Florida, much like all of the Southern schools, white schools and black schools.
Right.
And so in the merger of the two unions, the Florida Athletic High School Association, which was the all-white, merged with the FIA conference, which was FIAA, which was the all-black conference. And they've been trying to find missing pieces of history. So one of the things, the very first championship football game won in Florida by a black school was Matthew W. Gilbert out of Jacksonville. Defeating Fort Lauderdale Dillard in 1958. Bob Hayes was on that team, though just a junior. And that team went down to Fort Lauderdale and won the first championship, black or white, in the state. So they started looking for other records. And they had some gaps. And so we saw where 1959 was a year that they couldn't determine who won the Black State Championship. Well, after some careful looking around, there's a school up in the Panhandle out of Quincy, Florida, called Carter Paramore. It was a black high school in the Quincy area. And they won a 1959 state championship. Lo and behold, a young man was on that football team. He did not go, think about where Quincy is, to Florida A&M. He did not attend Florida A&M. He went to play football at Southern for Ace Mumford, the legendary coach at Southern. That young man, undrafted, would go sign an unheard of contract. He went to the Kansas City Chiefs for $250 only if he made the team. He made the team. His name was Matt Lee Hill. not only did he make the team, he became the AFL Rookie of the Year.
Wow.
Tragically, we lost him after the 64 football season. He had a knee injury the last game of the year against the Buffalo Bills. He went in for surgery and died on the operating table. And now, one of the more prestigious awards that the Kansas City gives every year is the Matt Lee Hill Award. He's out of Quincy Carter Paramore. He played for the Southern Jaguars, Rookie of the Year in 1965. But that's just some of that storied history about black colleges who were funneling talent,
pushing it out
into the NFL. Grambling, Florida A&M, Southern University, Morgan State, Tennessee State. Those were the bell cows. A lot of black professional athletes because they couldn't go to white schools. So they had to be recruited out of HBCU.
Wow.
I guess all our fans are already gone to Baton Rouge. They aren't calling. What do you think?
Nah, that ain't
haven't left yet, huh? But I heard the lines ringing while
Yeah.
people were trying to get in. What do we say? We live in this instant society, right? I'm not waiting.
Yep. If I can't get it, forget it.
I'm not gonna
I'll
forget
catch them next week.
I'll try them next week.
Oh, Ralph. Minister of propaganda.
Well, I do not want to be around my frat brother when he sees you all.
Because
I don't want to get hit by friendly fire, okay?
Nah, it'll be the front of that Ford symbol.
No, you didn't.
Hey, tell him, don't rev it up, boy. You ain't got enough diesel. We got time for one more call. 386-287-1226. 386-287-1226. That is the number to call and speak to the Hail Wildcats Gridiron Gang. 386-287-1226. I thought we'd hear from Miss Emma Price tonight, Ralph.
Oh, man.
Henry Dunn. Where are you? Emma, come on, call in. We know you're listening. And Ruthie.
Yeah, where is Miss Ruthie? Prayers up to Miss Virginia Bell. I know she had to have a procedure done this weekend. So sending prayers up for her. Yeah, definitely. So
get well.
Yeah, definitely. Get well from all of us here at the Gridiron Gang. So, man, 2 p.m. kickoff, Central Standard Time, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Our Wildcats face the Jaguars of Southern University out on the Bayou.
Well,
in Baton
maybe
Rouge,
2 weeks in a row. We were flying low under the radar. Nobody gave us a chance in the game against Grambling, and probably about the same amount of interest in the Cookman Southern game. But what if those young Wildcats go out there and shake up the world in knocking off the Jaguar Cats? That would be a huge win and a tremendous confidence builder.
It would definitely be for everyone. It would sound the alarm because we let one slip by us for homecoming.
Mm-hmm.
Which would have sounded a bigger alarm. But that's on the east side. Now you have an opportunity to go get that person on the west side. West side. And show them how these true down south boys do it, and
Oh, they know how the true down south boys do it because half of their team was down south.
I think meanwhile, what Florida A&M goes out to Prairie View, correct?
Yeah, they go out to Prairie View this weekend. So.
That should be interesting.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Ralph, closing words.
Well, for all you fans that was at the game Saturday and the ones that couldn't make it, we're rooting for the Wildcats to maybe win 2 in a row and and finish the season out on a winning note. And the kids need your support. And as I said last week, tough times don't last forever.
They do definitely not last forever. Larry.
I echo Ralph. I think this is one of those games that can be program changing in so many ways and inject a life, a little more life back into our football program and carry us through the remainder of the season. So there's a lot riding. I'll have my gun packed. I'm not going to shoot the TV early, but I'll have my gun packed, ready to watch that game on television on Saturday. And I wish nothing but the best for the Wildcats. Safe travels to you all who are making the trip as well.
Definitely.
And let's
thank
come
you.
back with a huge Wildcat victory.
A big W.
Most definitely. We're going to take our true Wildcat spirit out there with us and cheer for a huge victory. They will know we're there and we're there behind them. And, if you can't make it to the game, which we hope you can, if you can't make it, tune in, support wherever you're from. Tune into that contest on Saturday and let's cheer our Wildcats on. We're on to something. We're on to something, and if we can keep on doing what we're doing, then we're going to continue to make our university proud. Basketball season has started.
Say that the
Basketball.
girls, the women's team plays. Is it tomorrow? Saturday?
I think they play at home.
At home, they're playing at the University of Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah,
I think it is the 9th.
Huge shout out to our volleyball team. How many straight have they won? 11, 12, I think it is.
They've been rolling. I tell you.
Huge shout out to Coach Williams.
She's having a fantastic.
Brittany
She
has done a
definitely
phenomenal job.
But you know what it's going to come down to, right? A&M and Bethune and volleyball.
Well, they're clearly the two best
right.
teams.
Yeah.
And it shows that in the rankings. They're number 1 and number 2.
Yep. So should be interesting. That's their last game of the season.
Definitely.
Yep.
Of the regular season.
Of the regular season.
Of the regular season. So we'll definitely see, guys. This Saturday, our Wildcats face the Jaguars of Southern University. 2 p.m. Central Standard Time kickoff, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you'd like to travel to the game, let's go wildcats.org. Let's go wildcats.org. Go on there and book now. Book now. Tomorrow is going to be too late. Yes. Book now if you plan on going. For Mr. Ralph Smith, Mr. Larry Wesley, for Mr. CC Cruse in his absence, and for Mr. Jerry Bell. You've listened to the Hail Wildcats Gridiron Show. Hail Wildcats, let's beat those Jaguars, and we'll see you next Thursday. God bless.
Hail Wildcats.
Hail Wildcats.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Bethune-Cookman University alma mater.